Good evening. My name is Kristen Ike. I'm the Code Enforcement Special Magistrate for the City of Deltona, and I'm calling the Special Magistrate hearing of October 22nd, 2025 to order. The first thing on the agenda is the roll call, so I will have all of the code compliance officers introduce themselves, please.
Mark Gibson, Code Compliance Supervisor.
Sam Schaller, Deputy Fire Marshal.
Jessica Cotterman, Hearing Clerk.
Todd Mead, Code Compliance Supervisor.
Renee Kearney, Code Compliance Administrative Supervisor.
Thank you. All right, please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Next on the agenda is my statement about how the hearing is going to proceed tonight. I am going to read this so I don't forget anything. We are here tonight because the City of Deltona has contended that there are violations of the Deltona City Code that exist. This is a public meeting, which means that no general public comment will be accepted, but each of the respondents and the code enforcement officers here tonight and any witnesses each of you call will be able to present evidence to me regarding each case and the violations of the Deltona City Code that are being alleged. I am an attorney and appointed by the City Commission to render decisions in these code enforcement cases to determine if a violation of the City Code exists and what fine will be imposed, if any. If you are here for a Massey case, you might see that next to your case number on the agenda. That means that I will be determining solely whether you have come into compliance in a timely manner in accordance with the previous order the special magistrate issued in your case, and will not be reopening the case to determine whether or not a violation existed in the first instance. Any decision I make this evening will be put into an order, into a written format in an order. A copy of my written order will be provided to the city and then mailed to you as well. It is important to note that for any order I issue, you may appeal by filing a notice of appeal to the circuit court within 30 days of the execution of my order pursuant to Florida Statutes Section 162.11. The procedure of the hearings today will be governed by Chapter 162 Florida Statutes. Formal rules of evidence shall not apply, but fundamental due process shall be observed and shall govern the proceedings. Hearsay is admissible, but only to support other competent and substantial evidence. If you are a respondent, you will be able to testify, tell me what you think I need to know about your case, present evidence and witnesses. Your testimony will be under oath, so I will be swearing you in, and this hearing is being recorded. For each case, I will call the case number and the city will proceed first. The city has the burden of proving that the code violations exist, then you will be allowed to respond. For each case, I intend to admit the case file and the PowerPoint that will be shown on the screen tonight. You should have received a copy of your case file when you came in this evening. If you did not, please let me know when you come up for your case. But I do intend to admit both of those absent a specific objection. I will take the cases generally in the order that you signed in, first come, first served, although I will take a couple of cases out of order this evening because one of our code enforcement officers is scheduled to be out in the field. I have a couple of cases to announce that have been withdrawn or continued, so I will go ahead and do that. The following cases are withdrawn. DEL 25-087 A and B, 3182 Overdale Street. DEL 25-092, 1178 Azora Drive. DEL 25-094, 1412 Ambassador Avenue. DEL 25-095 A and B, 2750 Gramercy Drive. DEL 25-098, 1130 Deltona Boulevard. DEL 25-099, 887 Deltona Boulevard, and DEL 25-101, 117 South Cortland Boulevard. Those cases are in compliance. The following two cases have been continued, which is Fire 023-2025, a Massey case, 2135 Howland Boulevard, and Fire 045-2025, 1698 Diane Terrace. So if you are here for any of those cases that I just read, you do not need to stay. We will not be hearing those cases this evening. I will go ahead and swear in everyone who intends to testify today as a group, which includes the code compliance officers. So if you're able, please stand and raise your right hand. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? If so, please say I do. All right, thank you. All right, I have no ex parte communications to disclose, and we will go ahead and proceed with the cases. So, is this the first one? Okay. First case is DEL 25-091, 1496 Providence Boulevard. Good evening.
Good evening, Your Honor.
Go ahead. Okay.
Thank you. My name is Tina Pagan. I am employed by the City of Deltona as a code compliance officer. This will be case number DEL 25091. The City of Deltona versus Mathis Ramonda Shernice. The property address is 1496 Boulevard, Deltona, Florida, 32725. The parcel ID number is 813-0114-70140. This is a violation of the City of Deltona Ordinance, City of Deltona Ordinance Section 18-5, adapting the latest edition of the International Property Maintenance Code, Section 304.1, which states the exterior of a structure shall be maintained in good repair, structurally sound and sanitary, so as not to pose a threat to the public health, safety, or welfare. Corrective action for said violation is to repair, replace, or maintain in good repair any exterior surfaces, roof, obtain permit if required. The statutory requirements for this notification of this hearing have been met by the notice of hearing and notice of code violations were sent to certified mail to the property owner at the address listed with the property appraiser records. In addition, both notices were posted on the property and at City Hall at least 10 days prior to this hearing. All of the evidence in this case, including the photographs, have been marked as exhibits and submitted to the special magistrate clerk. I certify any and all photographs to be true and accurate portrayals of what I observed on the day they were taken. On June 18, 2025, I visited the property and observed a tarp on the roof. I left a door hanger with corrective action. On August 30th, 2025, I arrived on site and observed property remains in violation. Tarp on the roof. Posted an NOV on the property. On September 11th, 2025, I arrived on the site and observed property remains in violation. Tarp on the roof. Proceeding with special magistrate. On September 26, 2025, I arrived and observed property remains in violation, tarp on the roof. During my most recent visit today, the property continues to be in violation. The city would like to request 30 days for the property to come into compliance or a fine of $25 per day to impose until such time that the property owner has notified the city of compliance.
Thank you. All right. Ma'am, can you state your name and address for the record?
Rhonda Hicks, 1496 Providence Boulevard, Deltona, Florida, 32725. My maiden name is Mathis.
Okay, thank you. What would you like to tell me about the case?
Well, what she said is correct. We do have a tarp over the roof. I will say that I do have 4 kids and a husband in the home. I have been working to try to get the roof fixed. Since May 15th, I did submit an application with the city of Deltona. I've been working with the My Safe Florida Home, with Don Hoopla. I've also been working with Angela Briggs and trying to get this complete. It is a process. I've been calling them, working with them back and forth. The lady said, I submitted all the requirements for this grant to be able to fix the roof back in August. I want to say August or September. I had all of that complete. But I just got off the phone with Angela Bridge today, and she said upon receipt, they could take up to 6 months to be able to get this complete. So I'm just asking for, some leniency in regards to this, because I'm trying to get it fixed. However, it's going to take some time. I'm working with you guys to get the grant to make sure that this gets complete.
Okay, the people that you referenced, are they city employees?
Yes, they are.
All right.
And then I do also have here, my status with the application or whatever, and that currently I'm waiting on an inspector to come out to be able to get this complete. But this is, like the lady told me today, is a back and forth, and I'm just at the mercy of them pulling my number and making sure that I get this completed.
All right. I guess for the city, do you have, if she's in process for, trying to receive a grant, I assume 30 days is not going to be sufficient to come into compliance. So I'm just wondering what your thoughts are about that.
May I talk?
Yes?
Okay. For the process and everything, I spoke to Angela as well a few minutes ago, and she stated that the application was submitted in September. However, it is incomplete, and the documents that are required have not been submitted. So she's been waiting on documents which have not been submitted, so it's nothing. She has an incomplete application at the moment.
That's not true, because when I spoke to her, she had an attitude. So I hope y'all review the call for her, because her unprofessionalism is absolutely ridiculous. She was very annoyed to even be talking to me today. So I hope you guys review that call. Second off, when she did go ahead and she reviewed everything, she just reviewed it today, and she said repeatedly, this is not a review of the application, I'm just taking a look. She also, if you check the emails, because I talked to her on yesterday as well, because I said I need to be able to talk to the people today, because I have this hearing, to be able to let you guys know where I'm at in the situation. She told me to send an email, and that someone would email me back in regards to the status of where I'm at so far, whatever. I emailed at about 2-something this morning before I went to work. I emailed, I have not gotten any response. So that's why I called right before I got here, which she was annoyed to be able to talk to me today, and that's when she went through and she said that I needed bank statements. Now, I went on the application, and there is nowhere on there where it says bank statements. I have submitted my pay stubs. I have also submitted my tax forms. She is not even familiar with your system. Anyways, and I asked her if she was in accordance to the My Florida Home, and she said no, that you guys are not associated with that. So she doesn't even know what's going on with this grant. And I've called several times, so she's confused.
Mm-hmm. When was the roof damaged?
This was back when, it's been going on a year, when the last hurricane that we had. And if you look at my roof real good, you can see that this roof is only a year old, and my insurance actually covered that roof. So I'm already pretty much upset to even be going through this process anyways, because I just had this roof completed.
And have you submitted a claim for your?
Yes, I submitted a claim through my insurance, and basically the amount that they're trying to give me is a joke. It's not going to be enough to be able to cover the damages.
Yeah. Well, I mean, unfortunately, it is ultimately your responsibility as the property owner to, to fix the roof and to comply with the code. So while I do sympathize that there's, that they're not going to fully reimburse you for that necessarily, and that you're trying to go through the grant process, it is important to bring, the property into compliance. So what I would suggest is the city amenable to at least some additional time beyond 30 days.
60 days?
Yeah. I think at least, 60 days, I would like to give. And at least that gives you a little bit more time to see if you can work through the grant process with the city. But again, it ultimately is your responsibility to fix the roof and come into compliance. Is there anything else you'd like to say before I make the ruling?
Honestly, I don't think that it's 60 days, because like I said, once I talked to Angela, it sounds like this is going to take more than those 60 days to be able to be completed. And in her words, I quote, she's not going to skip me to put me ahead of the line from people that already have submitted their application. So and she's not allowed to tell me where I'm at in the line. So there could be 100 people in front of me in regards to this grant, and I would never know. I'm just waiting again for my number to be pulled. I do understand that it is my responsibility to, make sure that it gets complete, but I'm not willing to take off the tarp over my roof to have my house rained in while I have, me and my kids in there. I just had a 6-month-old baby. So I'm not willing to cause more damage to my home just to suffice not having a fine of $25 a day.
Understood. There, as I said, we have, regardless of whether the grant, we don't know sitting here today whether or not the grant would be approved, even
Correct.
if you submit everything.
Right.
So, again, I sympathize. I want to give you some additional time beyond, what's been requested by the city, and I will do that. But I think, again, you're going to have to come into compliance one way or another. So I'm going to go ahead and make the ruling now.
Thank you.
I'm going to find respondent in this case in violation of the city code as charged, and that respondent correct the violation before 4:00 p.m. on, it's actually 61 days, which is December 22nd, 2025. In the event respondent does not comply by the state, a fine in the amount of $25 per day will be imposed for each day the violation continues past the aforestated date. The respondent is further ordered to contact the code compliance inspector to verify compliance with this order. So please make sure you stay in contact with Ms. Pagan and keep her aware of where you are in the process.
Okay, no worries.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay, the next case is DEL 25-093, 1145 Giovanni Street.
My name is Tina Pagan. I am employed by the City of Deltona as a code compliance officer. This will be case number DEL 25093. The City of Deltona versus Bravo Corral. The property address is 1145 Giovanni Street, Deltona, Florida, 32725. The parcel ID number is 813-007-440220. This is a violation of City of Deltona Ordinance, Section 18-5, adapting the latest edition of the International Property Maintenance Code, Section 304.1, which states the exterior of a structure shall be maintained in good repair, structurally sound and sanitary so as not to pose a threat to the public health, safety, or welfare. Corrective action for the said violation is to repair, replace, or maintain a good repair any exterior surface, roof. Obtain permit if required. The statutory requirements for notification of this hearing have been met by the notice of hearing and notice of code violations were sent certified mail to the property owner at the address listed with property appraiser record. In addition, both notices were posted on the property and at City Hall at least 10 days prior to this hearing. All of the evidence in this case, including photographs, have been marked as exhibits and submitted to the special magistrate clerk. I certify any and all photographs to be true and accurate portrayals of what I observed on the day they were taken. On June 6, 2025, I arrived on site and observed a tarp on the roof. I left a door hanger with corrective action. Re-inspect in 60 days. On August 15, 2025, I arrived on site and observed a tarp remains on the roof. On October 2nd, I spoke to homeowner Mr. Bravo and informed him that this case will be proceeding to special magistrate. He understood and stated he will get all documents from his lawyer to show proof of the roof insurance company claims for his roof to be repaired. During my most recent visit to the property today, violation continues. The city would like to request 30 days for the property to come into compliance or a fine of $25 per day to be imposed until such time that the property owner has notified city of compliance.
Thank you. Sir, can you state your name and address for the record?
Okay, my name is Karel Bravo. My address is 1145 Giovanni Street, Deltona, Florida.
Okay.
My English is not very good. You got somebody translate because I understand, but my English is not.
Well, Mr. Ron is not here. Do we have anybody else who?
I can try.
Okay.
Okay.
If you go ahead and tell me what you'd like to tell me, if you can in English, but if not, I think
Okay,
Ms. Fagan can help.
Que yo hablé con los abogados
He spoke to his lawyer.
hice el día 9 de diciembre yo tengo el caso con América
December 9th, he has a court date
for my insurance.
for from his insurance due to them having to pay for his roof.
Okay.
¿Y qué más? ¿Van a necesitar más tiempo?
Sí, solo los abogados me dijeron que le diera el número de teléfono y el email
¿El número de quién?
de los abogados de ellos.
¿Tú lo
Aquí.
tienes?
Sí.
Ahora dice, he's requesting more time because his court date is December 9th. That's not going to be finalized of they're going to be able to fix the roof or not. So he has his documentation of his court date and lawyer's numbers.
Okay. Could you bring that up if he wants me to look at that? Does he want me to look at the?
No, ellos me lo van a mandar ahora, porque ellos me llamaron hace poquito.
You want me to?
Y yo también ya yo arreglé el fireplace, la parte del fireplace, ya yo la arreglé todo, la parte del fireplace afuera. Ahí está, todo eso, ya yo arreglé el fireplace completo. Eso está arreglado ya completo. Everything else fixed.
Pero ¿por qué tenía eso hoy?
¿Ah?
Eso es de hoy, ¿por qué lo
Sí,
tenía?
porque esas bolsas están por el ceiling.
So there shouldn't be a bunch of conversation going on. Are you?
Yeah, he's explaining to me that the roof that he had fixed today, a certain area of the roof, it don't look the way it was before. If you see in the latest pictures I've had, it was a tarp there. Now he ended up fixing that area, so he still needs to get the other area fixed by the insurance because he's trying to do his part to show that he's trying to come into compliance. So if you see the previous pictures, the tarp was actually there and is no longer there because he was able to fix that area on his own.
Okay. All right. Thank
Porque
you.
el seguro dice que no cubre Five plate. Yo lo hice completo.
Because the insurance said they're not going to cover that area where he fixed, because it's not be covered by the insurance, so he fixed it on his own.
Y esta es la compañía, yo tengo otra compañía también, que está con el abogado de seguro también, esta compañía.
Pero tiene papeles.
Ellos están ahí, el claim, aquí está el claim.
He has the claim paper as well, he said.
Okay, I don't see anything on the paper here that has a court date, though.
He said that it was a phone call that was made today, and that they should be sending him the documentations for that.
Okay,
It come a couple of days.
all
He
right,
said it comes in a couple days.
okay.
Would you like the claims documents?
No, I think that's sufficient.
Okay.
All right. Does he need to get these
¿Tú
back?
necesitas esos papeles para atrás?
Yo, eso.
Sí, no, no.
Okay, all right, I will keep these
Ella no se la cargan eso.
and enter them into the record. Okay. Is the city amenable to additional time, given the situation? And also, it appears that he's made some efforts to come into compliance, it's just not fully at this point.
We'd be willing to go another 30 days.
Okay. That would put us out at December 22nd, which would be after his court date, correct? You said December
Right.
9th, right?
So dice que diciembre 22 va a tener que tener eso arreglado ya.
Diciembre 22.
Sí.
Ok. Si ellos me
¿Tú
dicen la
crees?
corte que tiene.
Pero, ¿eso está bien?
All right. I'm trying, you know, it's, I got insurance for 10 years, I don't know. Okay.
Well, ellos te van a mandar papel. I'm going to explain to him that he's going to receive papers in his mail from us stating your judge, I'm sorry, I'm lost right now, stating what he needs to do and by when and the date, so he could bring to his lawyers to see if that helps his case.
Okay. The only question that I have is the corrective action. You have repair or replace the roof, gutters, or drainage. What is, I want to be specific in terms of what he needs to do to come into compliance. It's just the roof, correct?
Yes, it's just the roof.
Just the roof, okay. All right. I think, given that the court date apparently is set for December 9th, I would propose a compliance date of January 9th, and that gives him an additional month, and frankly, that's only basically 2.5 weeks
Sounds good.
additional time. So I'm going to propose, I'm going to rule that it would need to be completed by, come into compliance by January 9th.
¿Entiendes?
No.
Enero 9.
Enero 9.
Sí.
Okay.
Ya te va a traer el 9 de enero.
All right.
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and make my ruling. Is there anything else he would like to add before I make the ruling?
He said no.
Okay. All right. I'm find respondent in this case in violation of the city code as charged, and that respondent correct the violation before 4:00 p.m. on January 9th, 2026. In the event respondent does not comply by the state, a fine in the amount of $25 per day will be imposed for each day the violation continues past the aforestated date. The respondent is further ordered to contact the code compliance inspector to verify compliance with this order. And I'm going to admit the case file and PowerPoint as exhibits, as well as the letter from Angela Gomez dated January 9th, 2025, from your insurance attorney. And I find the notices properly given in this case. Thank you.
Thank you.
Eso es como. Thank you.
All right, the next case is DEL 25-051, 1901 East Chapel Drive.
It's okay.
Go ahead.
My name is Steve Brockhoff. I'm employed with the City of Deltona as a Code Compliance Officer. This will be case number DEL 25-051, City of Deltona versus Anthony Emil Cartagena. Property address is 1901 East Chapel Drive, Deltona, Florida. Parcel ID number is 8130-65200-110. This is a violation of the City of Deltona Ordinance Section 18-5, adopting the International Property Maintenance Code 304.1, housing codes, and this particular thing, roof. The adoption of the International Property Maintenance Code, which states exterior of a structure shall be maintained in good repair, structurally sound and sanitary so as not to pose a threat to the public health, safety, or welfare. Corrective actions, repair, replace, or maintain in good repair any exterior surfaces, in this particular case, the roof, and obtain permits if needed. Statutory requirements for the notifications hearing have been met by notice of hearing and notice of violation were sent certified mail to the property owner at the address listed as the property appraiser's website. In addition, both notices were posted to the property and City Hall at least 10 days prior to the hearing. All evidence in this case, including photographs, have been marked as exhibits and submitted to the Code Board clerk. I certify that all the photographs be true and accurate portrayals of what I observed the day they were taken. This case originally began April 2nd. When I noticed tarps on the roof that appeared to be in rough repair. On this particular ordinance, it's the only reason to be up on a roof putting tarps on is the roof in disrepair. You also notice that there are boards that have or strips that have been put on either with screws or nails, furthering damaging the roof, and the opposing to the public welfare is these tarps have a tendency of not lasting very long. They'll fly off the roof, could get into traffic and pose some problems. Currently, the tarp that you're seeing right now has fallen off the roof and is actually on his fence. This case was originally set up on, excuse me, I thought the property was vacant, so on April 28th, the property was still in violation, and I hadn't received any response from the owner, and I didn't find any Liz pendants, so it wasn't in foreclosure. So I requested a hearing date and posted the property for the notice of hearing on May 6th for the May special magistrate. The owner did show up, and that was my first contact with him, so a continuance was given, and I allowed a lot of extra time, but to date, the roof has not been repaired. The bug strips are still up there, and most of the tarps have been ripped off.
Okay, so currently today, there is no tarp on the roof?
There is some remnants of tarps, as you can see, and this is today. Also, that strip that's on the side, that also can damage the roof that's put in with either screws or nails. Now, he did indicate that he was ready to put the roof on. That's why we gave him the continuance, and I gave him extra time. He made it sound like there was not going to be a problem putting the roof on. But currently, to date, it's nothing's been done.
Okay, what is the strip? What is the strip that's there?
He used that to hold the tarp down originally, but that's since the tarp's ripped off it, the strip up there with the screws and nails remain.
Okay, well, I'm not sure, what evidence is there that there's still a problem with the roof? If the tarp is no longer there?
Well, there's nothing has been changed. You'll see that it's just been weathered is why the tarps are not there. And one of the pictures there you'll see on that shows on the left, right there, that's where the tarp is. It fell off the roof. So has not been any work done to bring the roof into repair.
Did you see it fall off the roof? Personally?
I didn't see it fall off the roof, no.
So it could have been removed, correct?
If that's the case, then you would think that the rest of all the material that's up there that as remnants of the tarp would have also been removed if repair was done. Same thing with the buck strip that was holding the tarp down. If you're going to repair the roof, you're going to remove everything and fix it correctly.
All right, so that strip has basically nails in it that were holding the tarp down before?
Yes. And that's apparent in the earlier pictures.
Okay. All right. Sir, what would you like to tell me about the case? I'm sorry, can you state your name and address for the
Yes.
record first?
Hi, my name is Anthony Cartagena, 1901 East Chapel Drive, Daytona, Florida. It hasn't been repaired. I removed the tarps, and I just need a little bit more time.
Okay. And how much time do you think you need?
I'm a trucker, and I can't afford to hire somebody. I'm going to do it with somebody else, but he tells me that he has to look into his schedule to see when we could make it work. So right now I can't afford to hire a company, so we're going to do it ourselves, but it's going to take me time, to be honest. I don't know how long you guys, whatever you guys could do, I'll appreciate it.
Okay. I mean, I think you heard the last couple of cases that were similar.
I totally know.
Again, ultimately, it's your responsibility to fix it.
Yeah, I understand that.
I am sympathetic. I understand that roof repairs can be expensive. But also, it does sound like the city has been pretty lenient in giving you quite a lot of time.
Yes, ma'am.
So at this point, I think, I would be willing to do 60 days, but that's it.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
So anything
Your Honor,
else?
the recommendation would be a $25 fine.
Okay, thank you.
No more.
Thank you. Is there anything else before I make the ruling?
No, ma'am.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
All right. I'm going to find respondent in this case in violation of the city code as charged, and that respondent correct the violation before 4:00 p.m. on December 22nd, which is actually 61 days. In the event respondent does not comply by this date, a fine in the amount of $25 per day will be imposed for each day the violation continues past the aforestated date. Respondent is further ordered to contact the code compliance inspector to verify compliance with this order. I'm admitting the case file and PowerPoints as exhibits, and I find the notices properly given in this case. Please make sure you stay in contact with the code compliance inspector and let him know your progress.
Yes, we already submitted the permits.
Okay.
At least, but we're still working on trying to find the date that he could come and me to have the money, because when I have some of the money, then he doesn't have time, and we're working on.
Well, I hope that this can maybe give him a sense of urgency.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, all right, thank you.
All right.
Yes.
Am I good, Your Honor?
Yes, thank you. Okay, the next case is DEL 25-102, 2537 Newmark Drive.
Good evening, Your Honor.
My name is Enrique Rios, and I'm employed by the City of Deltona as a code compliance officer. This will be case number DEL 25-102, City of Deltona versus Carlos Gabriel Rodriguez Aguiar and Kiara Ramon Matos. The property address is 2537 Newmark Drive, Deltona, Florida 32738. The parcel ID is 813-040-160-150. This property is being presented before magistrate for one violation, and it is as follows. There's a violation of City of Deltona Ordinance Section 18.3 adopting the latest edition of the Florida Building Code, Section 105.1, which states that any owner, authorized agent who intends to construct, enlarge, alter, repair, remove, demolish, or change the occupancy of a building structure, or to erect, install, enlarge, alter, repair, remove, convert, or replace any electrical, gas, mechanical, or plumbing system, the installation of which is regulated by the code, or to cause any such work to be done, shall first make application to the building official and obtain the required permit. Corrective action for said violation is you must obtain a permit for the changes to the front face of the home, specifically the alteration of a window and the addition of a door. Application must be submitted to the City of Deltona, 2845 Providence Boulevard, Deltona, Florida, 32725. The structure must meet all requirements of city ordinance and be approved on final inspection. Contact the code enforcement office with the permit number when obtained. The statutory requirements for notification of this hearing have been met by the notice of hearing and notice of code violation were sent certified mail to the property owner at the address listed with the property appraiser's records. In addition, both notices were posted on the property and at City Hall at least 10 days prior to this hearing. All of the evidence in this case, including photographs, have been marked as exhibits and submitted to the special magistrate clerk. I certify any and all photographs to be true and accurate portrayals of what I observed on the day they were taken. Your Honor, as it pertains to this violation, on September 12, 2025, I arrived at the property in response to a formal complaint filed for potentially unpermitted work taking place. After an assessment of the front face of the property, there was evident work in progress where the right side of the front of the home appeared unfinished with the potential additions of a door and a window. Further investigation determined additions and or alterations were made as illustrated by the photos on the Volusia County property appraiser's history. On this day, I was unable to make contact with the homeowners, but left a courtesy notice and contact information. On September 19th, I was able to make contact with homeowners Kiera and Carlos, who's here beside me. They were further advised of the ordinance and communicated their lack of awareness at the time the work took place. Their intention was to address a water leak from the window which was in place when they purchased the home. After financial considerations, they suggested they may just restore the structure to its original state and obtain the required permit as needed. An NOV was issued at this time. A notice of hearing was issued on October 9th, 2025, and today's inspection reveals the property remains in violation as there's no permit or permit application on file, and therefore it's here at Magistrate. The city requests 30 days for the property to come into compliance or a fine of $25 per day for said violation to be imposed until such a time the property owner notifies the city of compliance.
Okay, thank you. Can you go back to the, you said there were some property appraiser photos?
Yes.
Oh, that's hard to see. Okay, so so you're saying is that the door?
This is the window was originally, what was originally the window when he moved in.
Okay.
The latter photos will show the addition of a door and I guess the dimensions change of the window, as you can see here. So.
Yeah. I think my only concern is that I believe you have to have engineered drawings for that, correct? If you're going to keep, at least if you're going to keep the door, I assume you probably would need them even if you were going to restore it to the original. Is that
right?
Correct?
Right.
So that makes me think 30 days will not be enough time.
Right.
Because Florida statute does say that you don't have to have engineered drawings for replacements of windows,
enough.
but that's only if it's in the same location. So, and it's a replacement. It sounds like this was not a replacement.
Right.
Anyway, sir, can you state your name and address for the record?
Good evening. My name is Carlos Rodriguez. My address is 2537 Nomad Drive in Deltona, Florida, 32738.
Thank you. What would you like to tell me about the case?
At the beginning, I didn't know I needed a permit. It was like under some square footage. I thought it will fall into like I did not need a permit.
Oh, you thought it was
That's what I
exempt?
thought. And so what happened was that the window was leaking, so I tried to fix it myself. And yeah, that was not the case. I came to the city to find out inquiring about the permit, and that's what they said about the engineering drawings. I also asked about returning it back to the original state where there was only one window, but I also need engineering drawings for that.
Yeah.
On my latest call to the city and to find information about this, I was able to find out that I could turn it back into a garage door, which is what it was at one point, but the previous owners had it. That's what I'm thinking on doing, and that way I can get away with the engineering drawing because it's pretty expensive. I just need some timing for it. Due to my work, I had a different schedule and I changed back again, and that's why it took me some time to be able to come into the city and gather all this information and all this. I'm thinking 60 days will be good. It's because mainly I will do it myself. I'm doing the demolition and installing the new door and all the stuff.
And so was the window and the door, there was no window there in that location before, correct?
Before, yes, there was. That's not the best picture. There's a better one on Zillow. But yes, that is a window there that had a leak. And,
Okay, so
yes,
it's in the same location?
It is within the same location, yes.
Okay.
Not, well, if you would have got a better picture, you will see that it was like pushed in a little bit, to like where the garage opening was. But yeah.
And then was there a door in that location? Or
No, there was not a door. I added that myself.
Okay, all right. Okay, is there anything else that you would like to tell me before I make the ruling?
Only if you guys could give me some more time and I'll take care of it. I would really appreciate it.
Okay. I think in this case, again, I would say I don't think 30 days is sufficient, especially if you are going to get engineered drawings to keep any of the door, or or possibly the window, depending on whether you moved it. So I think a reasonable time would be January 9th. So that's what I'm going to rule. So I'm going to go ahead and make the ruling. Is there anything else for the city that before I do that?
Perfectly fine, thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, I find respondent in this case in violation of the city code as charged, and that respondent correct the violation before 4:00 p.m. on January 9th, 2026. In the event respondent does not comply by this date, a fine in the amount of $25 per day will be imposed for each day the violation continues past the aforestated date. The respondent is further ordered to contact the code compliance inspector to verify compliance with this order. I'm admitting the case file and PowerPoint as exhibits, and I find the notices properly given in this case. Please make sure you stay in contact with the code compliance inspector and let him know your progress. Okay?
Will do.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Alma.
Two cases. One is code, one is fire. Sam and Bashir are going to present together because they're
Okay.
intermingled.
All right.
Okay.
All right, so the next case is DEL 25-086, A through C, 679 Vicksburg Street. And then I have an additional case for this address, Fire 044 2025, 679 Vicksburg Street.
Good evening, Your Honor. My name is Bashir Turkzi, and I'm employed by the City of Deltona as a Code Compliance Officer. This will be case number DEL 2586 A, B, and C, City of Deltona versus Cesar Borges and Tamara Pita Pinero. Property address is 679 Vicksburg Street, Deltona, Florida 32725. Parcel ID number is 81 300 4380 350. This property is being brought before the special magistrate for more than one violation. These violations are as follows. Violation A. This is a violation of City of Deltona Ordinance Section 18-3, adopting the latest edition of the Florida Building Code, Section 105.1, which states that any owner, authorized agent who intends to construct a large, alter, repair, move, demolish, or change the occupancy of a building or structure, or to erect, install a large, alter, repair, remove, convert, or replace any electrical, gas, mechanical, or plumbing system, the installation of which is regulated by this code, or to cause any such work to be done, shall first make application to the building official and obtain the required permit. The corrective action for said violation is to obtain a permit for the accessory structure conversion into apartments. Applications must be submitted to the City of Deltona, 2345 Providence Boulevard, Deltona, Florida 32725. The structure must meet all requirements of city ordinance and be approved on final inspection. Contact our office with the permit number when obtained. The following violations are for the same no permit. Violation B would be for electrical, and violation C would be for plumbing. And the same corrective action is needed of all the violations. The statutory requirements for notification of this hearing have been met by the notice of hearing and notice of violation being sent certified mail to the property owner at the address listed with the property appraiser's records. In addition, both notices were posted on the property and at City Hall at least 10 days prior to this hearing. All of the evidence in this case, including photographs, have been marked as exhibits and submitted to the special magistrate clerk. I certify any and all photographs to be true and accurate portrayals of what I observed on the day they were taken. These cases were reactive cases that were opened on June 23rd, 25, following a notification from the fire department, which had responded to a fire incident at the site and reported that an accessory structure originally permitted as metal storage shed had been converted into 3 studio apartments. During the site visit, on to compliance or a fine of $50 per day per violation to be imposed until such time that the property owner notifies the city of compliance.
Okay, I have some initial questions. So this was a metal storage shed?
Correct. It was a garage, a metal garage.
Okay.
And that's what it was initially permitted for.
All right, and this is, what else is on the property? Is it a residential?
It is a residential, yes. It's a house. It's just a big property. The house would be on this side, basically south of the shed.
Okay.
It's not visible in the pictures.
Okay.
But yes, so that would be like a garage shed. At least that's what it was permitted for initially.
Okay.
And it had, as you can see, been converted into 3 separate studio apartments with full kitchens, bathrooms, AC, electrical, plumbing, and so forth.
Okay, and does the zoning permit for this number of units?
No, well, this time we're still,
Okay.
that's something that's going to be basically discussed with the zoning and planning department.
As now that the permit's been, the
It's-
application has been submitted?
Correct. Now, as far as 3 apartments,
Or how would you like to
That's
do
it,
this?
I can go ahead.
All right, go ahead.
Mine,
And then I'll allow you to respond to all of them.
Your Honor, for the record, my name is Samuel Schaller, employed by the City of Deltona as the Assistant Fire Marshal. This will be case number Fire 44, 2025, City of Deltona versus Cesar Borges and Tamara Pinheiro. Property address is 679 Vicksburg Street, Deltona, Florida 32725. Parcel ID is 813-004-380-350. This violation is City of Deltona Ordinance, Chapter 42, Article 4, Fire Codes, Chapter 42, 186, which adopts the most recent edition of the Florida Fire Prevention Code as adopted by the State Fire Marshal. It contains a Florida-specific version of NFPA 1, the Fire Code, and NFPA 101, the Life Safety Code. Violations are as follows. Violation A, NFPA 1 Fire Code. Excuse me, Your Honor, we're going to continue Violation A as it's essentially a duplicate of one of code enforcement's violations. We're going to go to Violation B, NFPA 101 Life Safety Code, Chapter 30.3.5.1. All new apartment buildings shall be protected throughout by an approved supervised automatic sprinkler system installed in accordance with 30.3.5.1 through 30.3.5.6. Violation C, NFPA 1 Fire Code, Chapter 18.2.3.2.1. Fire department access road shall extend to within 50 feet of at least one exterior door that can be opened from the outside, provides access to the interior of the building. Corrective action for above violations are as follows. Violation B would be to install supervised automatic fire sprinkler system throughout the structure. Installation to be done with an issued permit, City of Deltona Building Services Division, and be conducted by a licensed fire sprinkler contractor. Violation C, provide an approved fire department access road to the new apartment building, extending within 50 feet of at least one exterior door that provides access to the interior of the building. Fire department access road shall have an unobstructed width not less than 24 feet and an unobstructed vertical clearance not less than 17 feet, stabilized and capable of supporting a 32-ton emergency vehicle. Statutory requirements for notification of this hearing have been met. The notice of hearing and notice of code violations were sent certified mail to the property owner at the address listed with the property appraiser's records. In addition, both notices were posted on the property and at City Hall at least 10 days prior to this hearing. All of the evidence in this case, including the photographs, have been marked as exhibits and submitted to the special magistrate clerk. I certify any and all photographs to be true and accurate portrayals of what I observed on the day they were taken. June 23rd, 2025, we received a complaint from one of our fire department operations lieutenants regarding a call for service that they had at this location, referencing a shed that may have been possibly converted into an apartment building. 911 call had been placed at this location for smoke inside of the structure. Upon arriving, fire engine company went to the front door of the primary residence located at 679 Vicksburg Street. They knocked on the door, and the resident who answered the door stated they did not call 911, and it may have been someone from the unit in the back. Fire operations crews made their way to the structure at the rear of the building, knocked on the first door they came to. Young woman answered the door along with a child. There was a little bit of smoke inside the structure. There had been an air fryer been placed on top of a stove, which was turned on, subsequently melted the air fryer and caused the buildup of smoke, and the 911 call to be made. When I received the complaint, I went ahead and did review little research on this location. I saw that the structure had been permitted back in 2022 for the construction of a 20 by 60 enclosed garage, but that permitting did not have any form of dwelling unit included on the building. Property owner was informed about what permitting would be required and then the additional requirements that came with having an apartment building, including the fire sprinkler system, fire department access. Been a few phone calls I've had back and forth with Mr. Borges, who's advised that he is working on permitting to restore the structure back to essentially, pardon the term, but a granny flat to the primary residence. But as of today, that permit has not been issued and the structure has not been converted back to a non-apartment building, which would essentially take fire department out of the case. Closing, city would like to request 90 days for the property owner to come into compliance, or a fine of $50 per violation per day till such time the property owner has notified the city of compliance.
Okay. And then for the city's case, did you request 90 days? I'm sorry.
60 days for the permit.
Okay. Okay, so just to confirm, Mr. Schaller, so if they do go back to what is essentially an accessory dwelling unit, they will not need to comply with having these, the sprinkler system and the fire access road because it won't be a multifamily dwelling at that point.
Correct, Your Honor. It'll just be part of the house.
Right, okay. Okay. Ma'am, can you state your name and address for the record?
Anna, 679 Vicksburg Street,
Okay, what's your last name?
Duarte.
Okay, thank you. And what would you like to tell me about the cases?
I'm here representing my stepdad and my mom. Unfortunately, they couldn't be here today. First, I would like to say that we're working very hard and trying to bring everything up to compliance. And I would like to thank you guys for your patience and understanding how hard it's been to find and trust the right people to do and perform the right job. And my stepdad had a meeting with the Deltona Planning and Development Department and Building Department and the Fire Department discussed explanations and possible solutions for the issue. The proposal of keeping one unit as a livable suite and the other two as storage was accepted. The company Sunset Plan LLC was hired and is taking all the legal actions to bring everything up to compliance. Electrical and plumbing have been disconnected from the building. We would like to request additional time to bring the structure into compliance as we actively working on the paper to go through all permitting. And I have the paper.
What is the paper?
It's from the Sun State Plans.
Okay, is that like the permitting system?
I wouldn't what kind, the papers for what?
It's the Sun State Planning, licensed engineering.
Engineer firm.
That would be
Yeah.
part
Oh,
of
the
it, yes.
engineering firm. Okay, so that you've hired
Yes.
to assist you with this. Okay. All right. So, and can you explain, I'm just trying to think through if I have one set of violations that are 60 days and then a 90. I mean, to obtain the building permit, you don't need to have the sprinkler system and so forth
Correct. Correct. You have,
done at that point,
Officer Bashir's violation is to obtain the permit.
right?
The corrective action for ours would be not only to obtain a permit, but to have it installed and completed, the sprinkler system.
Okay. Which hopefully they will not need to do if they only have one unit.
Well, I think every building should have a fire sprinkler system, but that's just my opinion. But the code will not require it if it's only a one or two family dwelling.
Right, okay. Okay, so, I think that 60 days, I mean, it seems to be, well now, okay, so if they're going to do 60 days, that would mean if they're going to need, I'm sure, engineered drawings for all of this, right? To convert it to a one-bedroom apartment,
Yes.
essentially. Or, I mean, a one-unit backed from what it is. So, given the holidays and everything, I mean, I'm more inclined to do 90 days for both, if that's amenable to the city.
That's sufficient, that's fine, Your Honor.
Okay. All right, and that would give you a little bit of additional time. And I think, is there anything else before I make the ruling? No? Okay. All right. I'm going to find that respondent, in this case, in violation of the city code is charged, and that respondent correct the violations, which would include, let's be specific, it would be for case 25-086, A through C. That would be correcting the violation before 4:00 p.m. on January 20th, 2026. And then for the fire, we will do 120, which would be February 19th, 2026. So that would be for case 044-2025. Violations B and C would be, again, that would be February 19th, 2026. In the event respondent does not comply by the state, a fine in the amount of $50 per day per violation, which would be a total of 5 violations, will be imposed for each day the violation continues past the aforestated date. The respondent is further ordered to contact the code compliance inspector to verify compliance with this order. I'm going to admit the case file and PowerPoint as exhibits for both cases, and I find the notices properly given for both cases. Any questions?
Thank you.
No. All right. Thank you.
Who do I give this paper to?
I didn't admit it. I understand what you're saying, that you've hired an engineer, so I don't need a copy.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, the next case is DEL 25-103, 1420 Cortlandt Boulevard.
Good evening, Your Honor. My name is Enrique Rios, and I'm employed by the City of Deltona as a code compliance officer. This will be case number DEL 25-103, the City of Deltona versus Life Fellowship Church of the Nazarene, Incorporated. The property address is 1420 Cortlandt Boulevard, Deltona, Florida 32738. Parcel ID number is 813-038-000-070. Property is being presented for one violation and is as follows. This is a violation of City of Deltona Ordinance, Section 18.3, adopting the latest edition of the Florida Building Code, Section 105.1, which states that any owner, authorized agent who intends to construct, enlarge, alter, repair, remove, demolish, or change the occupancy of a building or structure, or to erect, install, enlarge, alter, repair, remove, convert, or replace any electrical, gas, mechanical, or plumbing system, the installation of which is regulated by this code, or to cause any such work to be done, shall first make application to the building official and obtain the required permit. Corrective action for said violation is you must obtain a permit for the fence installed, which encloses the playground. Applications must be submitted to the City of Deltona, 2345 Providence Boulevard, Deltona, Florida 32725. The structure must meet all requirements of city ordinance and be approved on final inspection. Contact the code enforcement office and with the permit number when obtained. Statutory requirements for notification of hearing have been met by, this hearing have been met by the notice of hearing and notice of code violation were sent certified mail to the property owner at the address listed with the property appraiser's records. In addition, both notices were posted on the property and at City Hall at least 10 days prior to this hearing. All of the evidence in this case, including photographs, have been marked as exhibits and submitted to the Special Magistrate Clerk. I certify any and all photographs to be true and accurate portrayals of what I observed on the day they were taken. Your Honor, as it pertains to this violation, on August 14th, 2025, I arrived at the property in response to a report for potentially unpermitted work where a new fence was installed surrounding a playground at the church. In speaking with Senior Church Administrator Maria Davila and Senior Pastor Joel Newman, it was determined that securing a permit for the fence may have not been completed by the contractor. Request for 2 weeks to verify the submission of the application or to submit if no permit was filed was granted. Reinspection performed on August 29, 2025, in conjunction with a check of permit status found the property still in violation, and in turn, a notice of violation was posted. On September 4th, 2025, the permit application was submitted, and a permit status recheck showed the permit was not yet finalized. I reached Gail Duglar of permitting, who stated a response to corrections had not yet been submitted by the property owner, which I communicated to the church staff in order for them to ensure the appropriate documents were completed with the permitting department. On October 9, 2025, a notice of hearing was posted to the property, and the status was still under review. Today, the permit status is still listed as under review. I made contact this morning.
For the record?
Bruce Mink, 1420 Cortland Boulevard, Deltona, Florida.
What would you like to tell me about the case?
Yeah, I think there was a misunderstanding when we put the fence up that the contractor was supposed to get the permit. I think the contractor thought the church was supposed to get the permit. Anyway, the work was done. That's regardless now, you know. But the church is trying to make sure that we follow up. I've been trying to work with Mr. Rios to make sure that we get the correct paperwork in and everything that we need to get in to get this taken care of. There was a question that arose from the fire. I guess fire went out and inspected it, said it needed an additional gate, said it needs 2 gates. We only have 1. Are we allowed to go ahead and put that other gate in, or do we have to wait till the permit comes? Because the permit's in process, so I don't know where we're at on that, you know, to try to get rid of it, you know, try to take care of everything at once.
Well, typically, you would include everything on the permit that you're intending to do.
Yeah, that's
which
what,
would be
as we get
include
the
your new
information.
gate. Yeah.
Sorry.
So, I mean, I'm not the building official, so I can't really speak for them, but, I mean, typically, yeah, you would need to put what what you intend to build and what you have built
Right.
on the permit application, so you're likely going to need to update that. But it sounds like you're well on your way because you've already got the application submitted,
Right.
correct?
Yeah, yes.
So you'll just probably need to update that.
Okay.
But I mean, again, since it's been approved by planning, and it sounds like you're, again, well underway in terms of review, it seems to me that 30 days would be sufficient to obtain your permit and bring it into compliance. Is there anything else you want to say before I make the ruling?
No, I think 30 days will be sufficient. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
All right. I find respondent in this case in violation of the city code as charged, and that respondent correct the violation before 4:00 p.m. on November 21st, which is 30 days. In the event respondent does not comply by this date, a fine in the amount of $25 per day will be imposed for each day the violation continues past the aforestated date. The respondent is further ordered to contact the code compliance inspector to verify compliance with this order. I'm admitting the case file and PowerPoint as exhibits, and I find the notices properly given in this case. So, sir, please stay in contact with the code compliance inspector and let him know your progress.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, the next case is DEL 25-096, A and B, 2913 Lake Helen, Osteen Road.
Good
Go
evening.
ahead.
My name is Janice Palasic, and I am employed by the City of Deltona as a Code Compliance Officer. This will be case number DEL 25-096, A and B. The City of Deltona versus Elias Acosta Gonzalez. The property address is 2913 Lake Helen Osteen Road. The parcel ID number is 813-058-030-070. The property is being brought before the special magistrate for more than one violation. These violations are as follows. Violation A, this is a violation of the City of Deltona Ordinance, Section 18-5, adopting the latest edition of the International Property Maintenance Code, Section 304.3, which states that all buildings will have an approved address numbers placed in a position to be plainly legible and visible from the street or road fronting the property. These numbers shall be Arabic numerals or alphabet letters. Numbers shall be a minimum of 4-inch high with a minimum stroke width of 0.5 inch. Corrective action for said violation is properly display the address number on the front of the building or to a separate structure, a mailbox, post, wall, fence, etc., in front of the building. Numbers shall be Arabic and shall not be less than 4 inches in height and 1/2 inch in width. Violation B. This is a violation of the City of Deltona Ordinance, Section 18-3, adopting the latest edition of the Florida Building Code, Section 105.1, which states that any owner, authorized agent, the statutory requirements for notification of this hearing have been met by the notice of hearing and notice of code violation were sent certified mail to the property owner at the address listed with the property appraiser's records. In addition, both notices were posted on the property and at City Hall at least 10 days prior to this hearing. All of the evidence in this case, including photographs, have been marked as exhibits and submitted to the special magistrate clerk. I certify any and all photographs to be true and accurate portrayals of what I observed on the day that they were taken. Violation A, no property numbers. This case originated on July 5th, 2025, after addressing the property for other violations at this vacant property. On July 7, 2025, notice of violation was posted to the property and sent certified mail to the property owner listed on property appraisers for the property numbers missing from the dwelling. On September 20th, 2025, I was able to make contact and speak with the property owner, Elias. I explained the violations as well as the corrective actions. At this time, Elias stated he would work towards coming into compliance. On October 9th, 2025, notice of hearing was posted to the property. Affidavit of service was also completed. As of today, October 22nd, 2025, the property is still in violation. Violation B, no permit for the exterior work. This case originated on July 11, 2025, after addressing other violations at this vacant property. On July 12, 2025, notice of violation was posted to the property and sent certified mail to the property owner for no permit for the exterior work being performed. On September 20th, 2025, after speaking with the property owner, Elias, regarding the 2 violations as well as the corrective actions needed, he assured me that he would work towards bringing the property into compliance. On October 9th, 2025, the notice of hearing was posted to the property. An affidavit of service was also completed. As of today, October 22nd, 2025, the property is still in violation. The city would like to request for 30 days for the property to come into compliance or a fine of $25 per day for violation A and $25 a day per day for violation B, for a total of $50 to be imposed until such time that the property owner notifies the city of compliance.
Okay, thank you. So what is happening with this, for this home? I mean, I've never seen anything like this.
Yeah, I've never come across anything like this in the 4 years that I've been here. I'm not sure what he's doing with this property and why he's not moving forward with it. The garage door was removed, the windows were removed, the siding was removed, all the boards were put up. There's no permit on file for any exterior work. There's also no property numbers listed on the property indicating, what in case of fire.
So it was siding before?
There was siding in the front.
Okay.
So all of that has been removed with no permit on file for the work that's being performed.
Okay. Is there anything else before I make the ruling?
No, Your Honor.
Thank you. I'm going to find a respondent in this case in violation of the city code as charged, and that respondent correct the violations before 4:00 p.m. on November 21st, which is 30 days. In the event respondent does not comply by this date, a fine in the amount of $25 per day per violation will be imposed for each day the violations continue past the aforestated date, which would be $50 total. The respondent is further ordered to contact Code Compliance Inspector to verify compliance with this order. I'm omitting the case file and PowerPoint as exhibits, and I find the notices properly given in this case.
Thank you.
The next case is DEL 25-097, A through C, 3179 Pigeon Cove Street.
Your Honor, at this time, I would like to withdraw B and C. They are in compliance.
B and C.
Yep.
Okay.
My name is Steve Brockhoff. I'm employed with the City of Deltona as Code Compliance Officer. This will be case number DEL 25-097A. The City of Deltona versus John Alexis Maldonado Vasquez and Janice Burgos. Property address is 3179 Pigeon Cove Street, Deltona, Florida. Parcel ID number is 8130-3293-0290. This is a violation of City of Deltona Ordinance Section 66-18H, restrictions on trucks and other vehicles, which states as maximum of 2 vehicles may be parked in the side or rear yards. Statutory requirements for this notification of hearing have been met by the notice of hearing and notice of code violation were sent certified mail to the property owner at the address listed the property appraiser's records. In addition, both notices have been posted at City Hall and the property at least 10 days prior to this hearing. All evidence in this case, including photographs, have been marked as exhibits and submitted to the code board clerk. I certify that all the photographs be true and accurate portrayals of what I observed the day they were taken. This case began August 4th, 2025, when after previous cases, I noticed too many vehicles back behind this property. And stored behind the primary structure. Since there had been previous cases, I went straight to notice of violation and requested certified mail. The compliance date was August 13. There was various degrees of compliance and non-compliance, but on September 29th, I witnessed multiple violations, including too many vehicles behind the front face of the house on the property. So I posted notices of those violations and requested a hearing for the too many vehicles behind the front face of the house. To date, he is in compliance. But he was in compliance after the original compliance date of August 13th. So, because I was there on the 29th.
Which vehicles are we referring to? This one in picture?
Well,
no,
it's
sorry.
the vehicles. He had boats on trailers on that side. Right there you can see there's probably 3 vehicles just there. At least 3, because that's a trailer, a boat and a trailer, another vehicle that's, and then that vehicle. Now the one on the far left, that belongs to the property next to him. That's just the one side, plus he had other vehicles on the right side that I could notice. So there's way over the 2 allotted vehicles.
And that was on the same date?
Yeah,
those
on
two
the same
pictures?
date, yeah.
Yeah, so there was like a minimum of
Yeah, well,
5?
that picture satisfies it because there's more than 2 vehicles right there, and you're only allowed 2 vehicles. Plus, he had vehicles on the other side.
The red, is that a red vehicle right there?
The red vehicle is not, that's the next door neighbor, but there's a trailer, and then there's another, that's got jet skis on it. There's a boat and a trailer there. Oh, no, I'm sorry. Look, it was the other picture that actually had 3 or 4 vehicles posted, then plus
Okay.
the 2 on the side.
I'm sorry, is this the one from October 29th, or you're not?
That one, yeah, that one's the 29th.
Okay, thanks. I couldn't see that. All right.
Since then, the rest of the violations, the debris has been cleaned up. The picture taken today is a representation of what he's been in compliance probably the last almost 2 weeks.
Okay, all right. Thank you. Is there anything else before I make the ruling?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. All right, I find respondent in this case was in violation of the city code as charged and failed to correct the violation by the time specified for correction by the code enforcement officer, and that the violation is now corrected and no fine be imposed. Any violation of the same code by respondent within 5 years from the date of this order shall be treated as a repeat violation for which a fine of up to $500 per day may be imposed.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. All right, the next case is DEL 25-100 A and B, 1838 Joyner Drive. Is that the last one? That one.
Good evening. My name is Bashir Turkzi. I am employed by the City of Deltona as a code compliance officer. This will be case number DEL 25-100 A and B. City of Deltona versus Julia M. Vento. Property address is 1838 Joyner Drive, Deltona, Florida 32725. Parcel ID number is 813-053-190070. This property is being brought before the special magistrate for more than one violation. These violations are as follows. Violation A, this is a violation of City of Deltona Ordinance Section 18-5, IPMC 303.1, pools unsanitary. Violation City of Deltona Ordinance Section 18-5, adopting the latest edition of the International Property Maintenance Code, Section 303.1, which states that swimming pools shall be maintained in a clean and sanitary condition and in good repair. Corrective action for said violation is the pool must be maintained and either drained of water or water must be chemically treated to remove algae. Water should be clear water and sanitized. Violation B is a violation of City of Deltona Ordinance Section 38-110A, vine growth. Violation City of Deltona Ordinance Section 38-110A, which states that the City of Deltona prohibits the existence of any nuisance as defined herein for the following reasons. The property is dangerous, unhygienic, unhealthy, visually unpleasant to the reasonable person of average sensibilities, and a visual nuisance because it depreciates and potentially can depreciate the value of neighboring properties. Corrective action for said violation is to remove the vine growth from the home and surrounding areas. The statutory requirements for notification of this hearing have been met by the notice of hearing and the notice of code violation being sent certified mail to the property owner at the address listed with the property appraiser's records. In addition, both notices were posted on the property and at City Hall at least 10 days prior to this hearing. All of the evidence in this case, including the photographs, have been marked as exhibits and submitted to the special magistrate clerk. I certify any and all photographs to be true and accurate portrayals of what I observed on the day they were taken. These cases were reactive cases that were opened on June 16th, 2025, following the resident's complaint of an unsanitary pool and overgrown vines, bushes at this vacant property. Several attempts were made to make contact with the property owner with no success. A notice of violation was posted on July 13, 25 for the unsanitary pool, and the property owner was given until July 23, 25 to come into compliance. For the overgrown vines, a notice of violation was posted on October 7th, 25 for the vine overgrowth, and the property owner was given until October 17th to come into compliance. As of today, the property is still in violation. The city would like to request 14 days for the property to come into compliance or a fine of $25 per day per violation to be imposed until such time that the property owner notifies the city of compliance.
Okay. I think the only question I have is, when you say remove the vines, are you really talking about on the structure of the home? Are you asking for removing, because I mean, there's a lot of overgrowth.
Yes, it's the overgrowth around the tree, the bushes there to the left. Let's see.
So yes, you are asking for them to clean up that
To trim it,
overgrowth.
correct. This area here, and also the vines that have grown on the walls of the property.
Yeah.
Not sure if you can see here, but this whole side of the house, now there's no access to the back, and it's getting
so
really close to contact the house.
So it has basically grown completely over the side yard?
Correct.
Okay. And is it on the other side of the house or just that?
No, just
side?
that one side. Just that
Okay.
one side.
All right. And I'm sorry, you recommended how much for the fine?
$25 per day per violation.
Okay. Thank you. All right. I find respondent in this case in violation of the city code as charged, and that respondent correct the violations before 4:00 p.m. on, that would be November 5th, which is 14 days. In the event respondent does not comply by the state, a fine in the amount of $25 per day for each violation, so a total of $50 per day, will be imposed for each day the violations continue past the aforestated date. Respondent is further ordered to contact the code compliance inspector to verify compliance with this order. I'm admitting the case file and PowerPoint as exhibits in this case, and I find the notices properly given.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. All right, case fire 039, 2025, 1878 Providence Boulevard.
For the record, my name is Samuel Schaller, employed by the City of Deltona as the Assistant Fire Marshal. This will be case number fire 039, 2025, City of Deltona versus Fast Lane, 1878 Investments, Inc. Property address is 1878 Providence Boulevard, Suite S, Deltona, Florida, 32725. Parcel ID is 813-015-160-060. It's a violation of City of Deltona Ordinance, Chapter 42, Article 4, Fire Codes, Chapter 42-186, which adopts the most recent edition of Florida Fire Prevention Code as adopted by the State Fire Marshal, which contains the Florida-specific version of NFPA 1 Fire Code, Section 1.7.12.10. No construction work shall proceed till the AHJ has reviewed the plans for compliance with the applicable codes and standards and the applicable permits have been issued. Corrective action for the violations is to obtain an issued building permit for the construction of the newly built wall and door. Statutory requirements for notification of this hearing have been met. The notice of hearing and notice of code violations were sent certified mail to the property owner at the address listed with the property appraiser's records. In addition, both notices were posted on the property and at City Hall at least 10 days prior to this hearing. All of the evidence in this case, including the photographs, have been marked as exhibits submitted to the Special Magistrate Clerk. I certify any and all photographs to be true and accurate portrayals of what I observed on the day they were taken. On August 16, 2024, conducting a fire inspection at this location, Fire Safety Inspector Jerry Bailey observed that a wall and door had been constructed without a permit. The business owner was notified that a permit owner was needed for this wall. Subsequent follow-up inspections on March 5th, 2025, and April 3rd, 2025, found the wall still in place, no permit applied for. Permit BLDC 250025 was applied for on April 24th, 2025. However, this was not issued around that time due to an insufficient submittal, and the contractor never replied back to the city's request for additional documentation. Follow-up inspections were conducted on June 30th, 2025, and July 28th, 2025, found the wall still in place. Permit BLDC 250025 was resubmitted on October 8th, 2025, but was also again rejected by plan review due to being an incomplete submittal. In closing, the city would like to request 90 days for the property to come into compliance with the violation, or a fine of $50 per day till such time that the property owner has notified the city of compliance.
Okay, thank you. So just so I know what I'm looking at, is this what type of building am I looking at and use here?
It's a small smoke shop,
Okay.
two-story, about a 12,000 square foot building, has about 8 suites, different businesses in them, and this is on the second floor. This is a small smoke shop slash, like they have lounge, pool table, couch that people will come to on the weekends. And as we see right here, I'm not sure if you can see the red circle from where you are. The wall on the left was existing, but it stopped right at the edge of that circle there on the left. And then at some point, someone has built this small addition to the wall with a doorway.
I'm sorry, I'm just having trouble seeing it. So like on the right, the picture on the right with the doorway, is that just from inside?
This picture right here, that's if you walk inside and take a 180-degree spin.
Yes.
See the wall ended right here originally. If you look here, you can see the ceiling grid is even with the original wall, which is on the right there.
Okay.
When this new wall comes in and pops out, it's no longer even with the grid.
I see. And is it not extending up to the ceiling either? Up there?
Maybe that much of a gap.
Yeah, there's a bit of a gap.
Yeah,
Okay.
maybe a hair of a gap.
Oh, okay, all right.
But if you went in the building, you can't really see it in the camera because of the lights, but you can see a difference in the texture of the wall. You can see the finish is different, and that wall had been added on to.
Okay, all right, thank you. All right, and you said that they had submitted, but they haven't gotten the permits yet.
Correct.
Okay, all right. I'm going to, anything else before I make the ruling?
No, ma'am.
Okay. I find respondent in this case in violation of the city code as charged, and that respondent correct the violation before 4:00 p.m. on January 20th, 2026. In the event respondent does not comply by this date, a fine in the amount of $50 per day will be imposed for each day the violation continues past the aforestated date. Respondent is further ordered to contact the code compliance inspector to verify compliance with this order. I'm omitting the case file and PowerPoint as exhibits, and I find the notices properly given in this case.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. Okay, is that it? All right, anything else for the good of the order before I adjourn? No? Okay, if possible, on the 14-day case, could you send that order first? All right, thank you. We will go ahead and adjourn.